So when I take out my GCF of 2, it's going to change all of my terms. So it's x squared plus 7x plus 10. Are we now in the form ax squared plus bx plus c? What's my a? 1. Remember, it's not the x squared, it's the coefficient of x squared. What's my b? And what's my c? Okay, what goes on the top of my x? It even kind of is there if you look at your paper. What goes on the top of the x, guys? So 1 times 10, 10 goes on top. What goes on bottom? 7. Let's go to our calculator. Go to y equals top number divided by x. 10 divided by x. Again, guys, I am doing this to benefit you because you're about to take a quiz over it. So if we are just doodling, probably not going to benefit you. Go to the table. 1 plus 10 is 11. 2 plus 5 is 7. So it's 2 and 5. So I'm going to rewrite my equation as x squared. Instead of plus 7, I'm going to do plus 2x plus 5x. Plus, do I now have 4 terms? Yes. Fill in your box. First term, first box. Last term, last box. And your x terms go in the diagonal. Again, it's following a pattern, guys. All the ones we're going to be doing. Top left box, x squared. Diagonals, x. Bottom right, constant. It's always going to look like this. Okay? Now we are going to take out our GCF. What are x squared and 5x both divisible by? X. What are 2 and 10 both divisible by? 2. Remember, don't divide them. That's the biggest mistake. What about x squared and 2x? X. And what about 5 and 10? Check yourself. X gives you x squared. X times 2 gives you x times 5 gives you, and 2 times 5 gives you. So we factored it correctly. Yay! Okay, so remember, our simplified form is what we're starting with. The reason it's called a simplified form, there's no parentheses and no like terms. Then, factored form, don't forget we took out that 2 at the beginning. Remember day 1, we put our GCF in front. GCFs always go in front, so put the 2 in front. And then x plus 2 times x plus 5. What can I do now? Check it on me. Calculator, do that. Put your original / your simplified form in y1, then put your factored form or your answer in y2. See how we're saying our simplified form is equal to our factored form? Let's make sure they're actually equal. Graph them. The blue is then over or outline traced by the red. Go to the table. Y1, Y2 match up because we did it right. Good? Okay. I'm now going to show you how we can do this same exact problem by factor by grouping. How many of us don't like drawing the boxes? Personal preference, guys. I always show you all multiple ways. How many of us are overdrawing a 2x2 box every time? No one? So do y'all not want me to show you factor by grouping? You've already learned it. Mute children. Do we want to see the factor by grouping? Yes, okay. So, the same exact thing, just without the graphic organizer. Okay? Step 1, factor out a GCF. Step 2, list out your A, B, and C. A, B, and C. You still have all the X. A times C on top, B on bottom. Find the factor pairs that multiply to give you AC, add together to give you B. Write it out. What do I have now? When you have 4 terms, you can factor by grouping. So x squared plus 2x plus 5x plus 10. See how I kind of have the first 2 grouped together on the left and the second 2 grouped together on the right? Do your upside down division. What do both of these have? Take an x out. What are you left over with? X plus 2. X squared, take an x out, you only have an x. 2x, take an x out, you only have a 2. Anything in common there? Here, x and 2? Nope, so a 1. So my GCF is x. Last row of my upside down division is x plus 2. Do we remember doing this day 1? Ish. That's why I'm refreshing our memory. Upside down division with your 5x plus 10. What's your GCF there? 5. What's left over if you factor out a 5? 2. Be careful, we're dividing. 10 divided by 5 is 2. Is there anything in common with your x and your 2? Just a 1. So my GCF is a positive 5 times the last row of your upside down division. Do my parentheses match? Put your parentheses in front. And then what goes in the second parenthesis? Did we get the same thing? We're just missing the 2, but again, you would drop the 2 down from your GCF. Do you see how it's the same exact process? Just this one we have a graphic organizer, this one we're doing our upside down division. Personal preference, I would never be drawing a 2x2 box to factor. That's my personal preference. Okay? So do whatever works best for you. Okay? Good? We're going to do one more where I do it both ways, and then we're just going to do the box, because I think most of us will like the box, or do like the box. Okay, let's look at number 8. Step 1 is always look for a GCF. Is there a GCF between 4, 7, and 2? No. So let's list out our A. What's A? What's B? Be careful with the signs. -7. And what's C? -2. A times C goes on top, which is what? B goes on bottom, which is what? Go to your calculator, go to y equals, top number, -8 divided by x. Go to your table. Oh, what's 1 minus 8? Is that what I want? Yep. So I'm going to put 1 and -8. We're going to rewrite our problem. 4y squared plus 1y minus 8y minus 2. I replaced my -7y with my sides of my x. Okay, first term, first box. Last term, last box. Middle terms in the diagonal. Again, it's following the same pattern every time. Variables squared, variables constant. Okay? What are 4 and 8 both divisible by?
2.
Bigger. 4, and they both have a y, so this is 4y. What are 1 and 2? Yes, ma'am.
Does it matter?
It has to be the GCF. If you don't take the GCF out, it won't work. What are 1 and 2 both divisible by? 1. 1's not divisible by 2. 4 and 1 are both divisible by 1, and they both have a y. -8 and -2. Remember, when the first term's negative, what must you do? Take out a negative. What are 8 and 2 both divisible by? 2. Check yourself. Y times 4y, 4y squared. Y times 1, 1y. 4y times negative 2, negative 8y. 1 times negative 2, negative 2. We did it correctly. If I were to put this in my calculator, guys, could I use the variable y? No, I would have to use the variable x. Your calculator will only graph if you have an x. Okay, I'm going to now do factor by grouping. This is the last one I'm going to do, factor by grouping, okay? We get to the same exact steps, write it out where you have 4 terms. Split the middle into 2 terms. So I have 4y squared plus 1y, and then I have negative 8y minus 2. What are 4y squared and 1y both divisible by? 1 what? Y. They both have a y. Take a y out. So if I take a y out, what's left over? Plus 1. Nothing in common there, so it's y times 4y plus 1. Never can have my first term being negative. So what am I going to factor out with my negative 8y and my negative 2? What are negative 8 and negative 2 both divisible by? Negative 2. So then what's negative 8 divided by negative 2? 4, and it has a y. What's negative 2 divided by negative 2? 1. So I get negative 2 times 4y plus 1. Do my parentheses match? Yes. So 4y plus 1 times y minus 2. Did that match what we got when we did the box? Do these match, guys? Yes. Do any of us like the factor by grouping method more than the box? Maybe a couple of us. Again, I would only suggest it for people that are like really, really, really strong, like getting A's on everything all the time. The box had been proven to help people factor. Okay? Some of us need a little less help, and if that's you, then do the factor by grouping, okay? Most of us need to be doing the box for all of these, okay? Good? 2 more, then we're going to do our quiz. Number 9, is there a GCF? No. Are we in the correct form? A x squared plus bx plus c? Yeah, the variable's just t. So what's my a? What's my b? And what's my c? A times c goes on top, which is what? 40. And b goes on bottom, which is... Oh, I messed up my coloring. Negative 14. Let's go to our calculator. 40 divided by x. If I notice all these numbers are positive, I need to get to a negative. So instead of going down, I'm going to go up. Negative 1 minus 40 is negative 41. Negative 2 minus 20 is negative 22. Skip decimals. Negative 4 minus 10 is negative 14. So negative 4 and negative 10. I'm going to rewrite this as 5t squared minus 4t minus 10t plus 8. First term, first box. Last term, last box. Middle terms in the middle box. What are 5 and 10 both divisible by? You keep dividing them. 5, there we go. 5, and they both have a? They both have a what? T. But yes, variable. What are negative 4 and 8 both divisible by? 4, and since the first term's negative, you're going to take out a negative 4. What is 5t squared and negative 4t both divisible by? A t. And then what's negative 10 and 8 both divisible by? first term's negative, so it's a negative 2. T times 5t is 5t squared. T times negative 4 is negative 4t. 5t times negative 2 is negative 10t. Negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8. So we factored correctly. 5t squared minus 14t plus 8, simplified form, times your factored form. Good? We ready for our last one? Are we feeling more confident after doing this again today? Like I said, it's a long process, so really the way to get better at it is more and more practice. The more times you do it, the better you know the process. Okay? Last one. Is there a GCF? No. So what's my A? 1. What's my B? And what's my C? A times C goes on top, which is what? B goes on bottom, which is, let's go to your calculator and do 60 divided by x. Always the top divided by x. Go to the table. 1 plus 60 is 61, 2 and 30 is 32, 3 and 20 is 23, 4 and 15 is 19. So it's 4 and 15. So I'm going to rewrite this as x squared. I'm replacing my plus 19x with plus 4x plus 15x plus 60. First term first box, last term last box, middle term's in the diagonal. X squared and 15x are both divisible by what? X. Now remember, you can also do the backwards way of figuring out. Once you find one GCF, you can figure out the rest by working backwards. X times what would give you x squared? X. X times what gives you 15x? 15. X times what gives you 4x? Check yourself. XX, x squared, 4x, 4x, x 15, 15x, 4 and 15 is 60. We factored it correct. And there we go. Next class, we are going to do more factoring and review. Okay? More factoring and review next class.